Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, cannot wait till it's Monday on the Tuesday show with Ted and CJ. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, cannot wait till it's Monday on the Tuesday show with Ted and CJ. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, cannot wait till it's Monday on the Tuesday show with Ted and CJ. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, cannot wait till it's Monday on the Tuesday show with Ted and CJ.
Three, 1, 0, and we're in the room.
We're in the room.
Well, indeed. How are you?
I'm good. It's Friday night, and it's the end of another week. Another long week.
Yeah, it's not been another short one. Is
No.
this going to be the way for 2025?
I feel like it. Yeah.
Or 2025?
Yeah. 2025. 5-day working weeks. Yeah. It sucks.
Yeah.
Bring on the 4-day working week. That's what I say.
Well, yeah. You say that as though it's some sort of good idea.
I feel like it is. Why is that not a good idea?
Because the temptation would be to pay people for only 4 days.
I know there's some businesses, certainly in the UK, that are trialing, if they haven't rolled it out completely, the 4-day working week, where people don't lose any money because of it.
Yeah.
You know, they still pay their full salary. I think some of the results are they're just finding people are generally happier and actually more motivated to do stuff because they get 3 days off every week rather than just 2. So I'm told. I haven't really gone and researched it myself, but you know what? I'm totally here for a 4-day working week as long as they pay me for 5 days.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
The problem is if you need to do anything with anybody in any other organisation on the day that nobody's in.
Well, that's why we all need a 4-day working week. So we all just work Monday to Thursday, call it good.
Yeah. I'm sorry you can't have this critically important surgery because A, you can't get there because the bus drivers are off because it's the day where we're all off and so on and so forth.
Like, if you're just going to sit here and take a shit on my ideas, then...
Look, I'm not saying, A,
We'll just
it's
end
not
the
your
show.
idea, it's somebody else's, unless you did, in fact, implement it across these other companies. I don't think you did.
No, I did. It's all me. It's all my fault.
Is it?
So, yeah.
Okay.
Just blame me.
Yeah.
No, there were unfortunately exceptions to that rule, public services, etc. Where, they'll end up, still working 5 days or whatever. But again, it's you have, there's more than just one person driving a single bus route on a working day. It's a rotation of many people. So you'd work it into a way of having many people doing it.
I think these days, we may have missed the boat on this one because these days you've got so many people doing various types of shift work, working in the gig economy, as they call it.
Is that what they call it?
Doing part-time jobs and all sorts of different things. When you had a workforce that was predominantly 5 days a week, very few people worked on a Saturday, nobody worked on a Sunday, everything was shut. I think then introducing the idea of a 4-day week, which would suit everyone, and just say, hey, now Friday's your Saturday, and Saturday's your Sunday, and Sunday's your bonus Sunday.
Exactly. Extra Sunday. Who doesn't want that?
Yeah, it would work then. I don't think it would work now. Also, we're very, very connected. So you really would need everybody to take the same day across the world.
Across the world.
Across the world. The chat is kicking off.
It really is. Ruby's been in. Welcome, Ruby. Kind of like my school district, 4-day week with full pay. Yeah, there you go. So I'm aware of this. The the 4-day school week in some areas in the United States, which I've got mixed feelings about it. I'm not going to lie. I've got mixed feelings about that because, kids are doing a 4-day school week. They're going to, they're going to finish high school. They're going to either go to college or go to work and suddenly be slapped in the face with a 5-day week again. And it's going to be a real culture shock for them. That nice, whatever extra day of the week that they get off is suddenly going to be taken away from them again. And suddenly there's people that don't want to work anymore.
Well, yeah, absolutely. But the other side to that is, what about the people who work in the companies that do a 4-day week? There will come a time when they want another opportunity for other reasons other than how many days they work, and then they go somewhere else, and then they're slapped in the face with 5-day week working again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess at that point that becomes a choice, doesn't it? It's well, maybe it's not. I don't know. Maybe you get fired and you have to. But I don't know. I think there's a lot around it, but I think businesses can still operate in a 5-day week scenario. They just end up, but it's just like when people take time off for holidays. When you have annual leave, you lose people, and that's just all it'll end up being is, for 1 day a week, they will lose a person. Or I guess if you still want to operate over 5 days, you then have to stagger. Get people to choose their day off. I mean, if it was me, right? If my company turned around to me and said, "We're going to operate a 4-day working week for our people, however, we do still want to operate as a 5-day per week business. So to do this, we obviously can't have everyone taking Friday off or everyone taking Monday off. So pick a day of the week." And I'll be like, Wednesday, I'll take Wednesday off because Wednesdays fucking suck. It's the middle of the week. No one likes it. I'll happily take 2 days off, come in for 2 days, take another day off where I can do my laundry, clean my house, do all the shit that I can do all in 1 day. And then I still get my full weekend just for me.
Yeah.
And then go back to work for a couple of days.
Yeah, I think the problem is it's always going to lead to the situation where in an organization, it doesn't matter how valid it might be to have a non-working day. So if somebody has a non-working day every week, so there are plenty of people who work part-time, and they'll get cursed out every time that they're supposed to be at a meeting or there to do something for the people that were there either on that day or all days.
Yeah.
So, you'll end up being known as the dick who doesn't do Wednesday. So it's not necessarily a great idea if you stagger it. From that point of view, it'd be better if everybody was off on the same day. But then every organisation's got to be off on that same day. And it's all very well Ruby coming in saying, "Oh, hey, cabs and Uber are a thing." But what if you don't want to do a cab or an Uber driver job on that day because everybody's got that day off? Don't forget the kids are off because you decided to only do a 4-day week at school. So now that person's got to take the day off to be able to look after their children.
See, and that's and you know what, and that's a thing that I didn't actually consider during that as well. It's for the kids that don't go to school on a Monday, who's looking after them? That's a really interesting question. But Ruby has been back in with, I'm not concerned about the 4-day school week, at least with my kids. They know how real life is. Okay, good. Good. Yeah, but no, if it was me, I'd be like, just give me every Wednesday off. But you say, he just turns into the dick that doesn't work on a Wednesday. So one of the businesses in my global group of businesses advocate for the 9-day fortnight. I think this is a tremendous idea. So what people do is they just pick whichever day during a 2-week period that they want off as an extra day, and they get it. But you get it. But you have to set it as a pattern and a routine. And what so the few people that I know that are doing this, when I talk to them, they actually say it's really, really helpful to them because it almost acts as then a 4-day working week. So all of their meetings, so one guy, he takes every other Friday off. But he says, so all of his meetings are Monday to Thursday. So then the Friday that he's actually in, he doesn't have any meetings scheduled. So he can actually buckle down and get shit done.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's actually a genius idea. But yeah, this company absolutely advocates for it and absolutely lets people do it. If that's what they want. You don't really, it doesn't have to be for childcare reasons. It doesn't have to be, Well, you could just be like, I just want to work a 9-day fortnight, because the company's simple response is, well, as long as you're doing your 37.5 hours, who gives a shit? And so to mitigate losing, 7.5 hours, 8 hours, whatever the hours work out to be on that day that you're not there, you just end up working an extra half an hour for the rest of the other days. Now, in my company, especially when I talk to everybody, I'm contracted, my contract says 8 hours a day, 40 hours a week is what I'm supposed to do. Regularly, it's 50, 55, just because that's what I've got to do. I start early, I finish late. It's just what I have to do. So actually dropping a day every 2 weeks would probably do me the world of good. But I've also then got to squeeze those, 9, 10, 11 hours that on the day that I would normally be working, I've got to fit those across the rest of it somewhere. Because the work doesn't stop just because I'm not there.
Exactly. You're still going to have the same expectations on you, even if you're there less time.
Yeah, I get an extra day where I can be lazy. It's fine.
Well, yeah. But then presumably, if let's say you often do a bit of overtime, then that is time that you're not going to be doing. So the overtime that you would do on, let's say, for example, it was like, okay, we're not coming in on Fridays anymore. Then any overtime that you did on a Friday, even, let's say that was on a regular basis, you wouldn't then be doing that bit of overtime. You might be lumping those hours onto other days, but then what will happen is on those other days, you'll be less likely and less inclined to do bits of overtime on an already longer day. So you'll be working fewer hours overall anyway for that week.
But isn't that the point? Is that we work fewer hours, it's better for our mental health. But the idea is to help
less
you.
Gets done.
So
then you're more worried.
No, but you say that
because you're getting less done.
You say that, but it's supposed to work in a scenario of, because you get the extra time off, you're more motivated, you're happier, you therefore are more productive, and that's what it comes down to, the productivity. And actually, in this business that I'm talking about, they haven't seen a drop in productivity.
No.
The billable hours are just as good as they were when people were working, 2 full weeks. So actually, who's losing out of that? No one.
Well, yeah, but then I'd take that with a pinch of salt, because if I was trialing something and I was the decision maker who said, right, we're going to do this for the next 6 months and see if there's a positive or negative impact on our business, I wouldn't want to be the one taking responsibility for the fact that for the last 6 months we'd have a negative impact because of my silly bloody trial. So I would take the results of that with guardedly.
They've been doing it for years and they're fine. No problems with it. Yeah. Anyway,
nobody wants to say it was a failure.
Well, let's move on, because I feel like I've touched a nerve somewhere. So let's move on, shall we?
The thing is, everybody works all sorts of different things anyway, and different shifts and lots of part-time working. We're not the way we were in the 1950s, 1960s, where everybody turned up Monday to Friday, and nobody did a damn thing on Sunday. Even people in the service sector.
Yeah, that's it. It was skeleton crews on a Sunday.
Yeah.
But we live in a 24-hour society now. That's the thing, and everything is available 24/7, or as close to it as possible. And that's just the world we live in now. Like you say, it's not the 1950s anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which I think has got its good sides, but its bad sides as well.
It's multifaceted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever faceted means. I'm less learned than you are.
So it's
tell me you're an idiot without telling me you're an idiot. Yeah, what does faceted mean?
Yeah, sides.
Okay. Just say remember that conversation we had last week about people using bullshit long words when they could just say sides?
Yeah, well, it's yeah, okay. I wouldn't write it. I might say it. But I wouldn't write it. I used facilitate the other day. I've used facilitate a lot. But again, because of our conversation last week, as I was writing this email, I wrote in the word facilitate. I was like, I could just say help. Yeah. I
could just write help.
Yeah.
It's the same thing, and less movement for my fingers. So.
Well, absolutely. That's what She said.
Yep. Many times over.
I certainly don't write the way that I would speak most of the time.
I don't think many people do.
Well, no, but it's just in general conversation. The problem is when people try and be clever on paper and it doesn't work because
I say you do the other way. So you don't write how you. But when people, like you say, they try to sound clever on paper, they come across as idiots.
Yeah.
So yeah. Anyway,
moving swiftly towards
edit.
Swiftly towards a massive gaping hole in the podcast there.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like it's your turn to go first this week.
Didn't you?
No, I had no idea. I had no idea.
So, what's been tickling your fancy on the internet recently?
Well, I figured actually because it's been a bit of a tough week at work this week. I say that it hasn't been terrible, but it took a bit of a nosedive today. I'll be honest. So as I was scouring the depths of the internet to find the mildly interesting or mildly infuriating, I did happen across this image of the visual representation of how my day is going, and I thought this actually really sings to basically how my day went today. It's like, it started off great, and I'm like, great, I'm going to open a can of mixed beans, and then, nope, the ring pull's come off, and you're fucked. So what do you do? What do you do in this scenario? I think I'd have just been like, yeah, okay, fuck you, universe.
Yeah, I mean, you could take that approach, or you could just get the tin opener out of the cupboard that's probably right next to you.
Have you ever tried to open one of these with a tin opener?
I have.
And would you like to describe how difficult it actually is because of the extra layering of the tin on tin and the sealing and all that stuff?
Well, okay, I'm not entirely sure about the sealing.
Not the sealing, but the seal on the tin.
Do you know what? I don't know. But what I do know is, yes, the design might be slightly different, but the design is not different on the side because the side of the tin is the same as any side.
You got one of those stupid, dangerous ones where it cuts around the side and then ends up with a razor sharp edge around the.
Yeah, but I think you can do that with any of them anyway. You just turn it on its side. I mean, you just go for it. Pretty sure.
I remember trying that when I was younger, but I don't think it succeeded.
Yeah.
But then again, I was a child and was also an idiot. I mean, I'm still an idiot, but
those sorts of flat ones that you sort of scissor together and it's like usually made of plastic and it goes all the way around. Yes, I used one of those, but normally the right way around because it just seems a bit new and fangled to do that cutting through the side. But yes, that's what I would do in this circumstance.
What about and this is where I was until I bought a tin opener, where this happens, but you don't actually have a tin opener.
Get a knife.
Yeah, I nearly fucking killed myself doing that.
Or get a survival kit that's got, or what do we call it?
Swiss Army knife.
Swiss Army knife. That's got a tin opener on it. It might take a while because you've got to get tiny little bits at a time, but you do get round there eventually.
Sound effects are optional.
Yeah.
So you got to make the sound as you do it because it makes it easier. It's like grunting when you bend down to tie your shoelaces.
It's that young couple upstairs again.
Oh God, yeah. All the paper thin walls in the hotel room. That's happened. Anyway,
yes.
Yeah. So this did happen to me once.
Boom and beans. There you go.
Oh,
you get there
Jesus.
eventually.
Yeah. Is that what you say when you finish opening the can of beans? You go, boom, beans.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what happens.
Anyway, so no, this did actually happen to me once. This happened to me, and I don't own a Swiss Army knife. I don't own a military tin opener tool. Because I know there were little things that used to come in a ration pack or something, where you could open the tins with them or something. I don't remember.
Yeah, that's when ration packs used to have tins in them.
Yeah,
and then they swapped it to bags.
Yeah,
boil in the bag.
Boil in the bag. Yeah. But anyway, but I didn't own anything like that. I didn't own a tin opener or anything. So I had to in my fury, drive to my local supermarket to buy a tin opener.
I thought you were going to say, in my fury, I had to drive something into it.
Yeah, well, I tried opening with a knife and nearly killed myself. Like the knife literally flew out of my hand, caught me in the shoulder, and then bounced off somewhere.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy crap.
Even the retelling of the story was dangerous.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Sorry, microphone. Are you okay? There. So yeah, in my fury, I had to drive to the supermarket to buy a tin opener.
Yeah.
And then yes, I could open my can of beans. Yeah, but so now I own a tin opener and I never use it because all of the cans come with these ring pulls on these days.
Yeah.
So yeah, there you go. So I thought that was a good visual representation of the day. Describes my Friday quite well. We've also got another good representation of things going wrong at the most inopportune moments, and this is someone who has put their earbuds in the washing machine, or the case for their earbuds in the washing machine. You can see them just kind of hanging out down the bottom of the washing machine here. And for the audio listeners, we've got a washing machine with an earbud case in. In case you didn't put two and two together to begin with. So have you ever done anything like this? What's the worst thing you've washed accidentally?
Accidentally. I've got things that I wash on a regular basis. I mean, it's down to others to decide whether they're good or bad. But yeah, that's actually quite bad because it's for the uninitiated. When it comes to earbuds, it's not just a case, is it? It's got electronics in it.
It's a charger, yeah.
It's got electronical wizardry in it, which will probably get a bit fouled up if it was wet. I assume.
Probably, yeah. It's unlikely they would work for at least a little while. I wouldn't try using them immediately. I'd probably leave them on top of a radiator for about a week to dry out.
I'll tell you, the worst thing that I've ever washed was an iPhone, and I washed it in the bath along with myself.
Did you wash yourself accidentally as well?
I no, that bit was on purpose.
Okay.
What wasn't on purpose, I was in the bath and I fell asleep, and that was where it all fell down. Literally.
Yeah.
Out of my hand, and so then I woke up and there was water, and because I fell asleep, I woke up and there was water sort of lapping around on my chest, and that's where the phone was. So it wasn't even as though it sunk down to the bottom. If there was a little less water, I'd woken up and gone, "Whew, that was close."
Yeah. I think I remember you telling me this story years ago. Actually, yeah,
it was years ago, and I'm still even when I think about it now, I'm annoyed.
So you're still not over it.
Yeah, I'm not over that one. That was bad. That was bad.
The worst thing I've washed, I think, was just some money. My parents taught me, or my mum taught me, like, when you're putting your trousers in the washing machine, even if you've just taken them off and you know that 30 seconds before you emptied your pockets, before taking your trousers off, always check the pockets because you never know what's in there. The worst thing I've actually washed is coins, and I lost a £1 coin to the filter as it comes out. Because what I actually noticed was after that wash, the washing machine wasn't draining very well. I was like, this is weird. So again, checking on the internet, I was like, okay, I'll check the filter, pull the filter out. There's a £1 coin in there. I was like, that must be from when there was a load of change in the washing machine last week.
Yeah.
So that's what that was. That's the worst thing I've washed.
When you say the worst thing, I mean, did you just take it out of the filter and everything was fine?
Yeah, I took it out of the filter,
and
cleaned it off, and it was
broken.
fine.
So it's not a terrible. It's not falling asleep with an iPhone on your chest when you're in a bath.
It really isn't. Although,
it's not to that level.
I'm actually now annoyed with myself because as I was looking through, and doing my scouring of the internet, there was someone who had washed a £2 coin, and the centre bit had come out from the ring, or the ring had separated from the centre bit. And I was like, actually, so I could be like, yeah, mine was fine, but this guy, this guy got it the worst. He got it.
I didn't know that it could be detachable. I assumed there'd be some sort of I assumed there was something in the ring, in the rim of the ring to stop that from happening.
There may have been something in the rim.
Yeah. So beware of that if you're trying to keep your things clean.
Yeah, I assume that the glue. That's what I was thinking. I was I was like, what's the word for when you stick something to what do you use when you stick something to something? It's glue. Anyway, chat. Get in the chat and tell us what's the worst thing you've accidentally washed.
Yes.
I'm really interested. But then it led me on to from the accidental washing of earbuds to the what?
Sorry, I was just about to say. I'll tell you what else I've got wet. All right, at the beach, I had in a bag, like a beach bag. I had I had a bag with a few leads in it, and I had one of those chargers, and it was a really good one. It was like a charger that you used to charge up your phone.
Yeah.
Luckily, not the phone, although, it obviously wouldn't have been the phone, as I tell the story. So there was a charger, and it was in the bag, and a few other bits and bits and bobs that all got a bit wet and a bit ruined. But the charger was I was really annoyed about that because that was a really good charger.
Was it like a battery pack?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. And anyway, so that was on the sand, and we were stood on the sand. That's myself and my son, and he. This was a few years ago, so he's probably about 3 or something. And we're stood there, and I'm taking selfies of us, and we're sort of facing away from the sea.
Yep.
So I'm looking at the phone. The sea's right in front of me. He's right next to me, and we're taking a pose. And now, if I look back at those photographs, there's basically 3 or 4 photographs. When you take a few just to get it right, there's about 3 photographs. And you put them together and then look at them. There's one where he's looking at the camera. Then there's one where he's looking slightly away. Then there's one where he's looking a bit concerned.
Yeah.
One where he's like, "Oh my goodness, what's happening?" And it was at that point that a wave came along and the water came all the way up to us, and we quickly, leapt up.
Yeah.
We with the phone in the hand like that.
Yeah.
And of course, the bag was slightly forward of us, so that got wet, and I was annoyed.
I was just about to ask: is there like a series of photos where you've had it on like burst mode and continuous shooting, and it's like say it's a gradual change of facial expression from happy we're together on the beach, we're taking a photo, some selfies,
Basically.
to abject horror that the wave is coming towards you, like something in a horror film.
Yeah, it was just the fact that I was still looking at the phone, going,
Yeah.
And then he's looking straight at the water, going like that.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, I'll have to dig out the photos and show you afterwards.
Okay.
But that's something that happened. Sorry, you were saying?
No, that's all right. So it led me from how's your day going? The broken tin opener, the earbuds or earbud case in the washing machine.
Bad times.
To absolutely to the toothbrush that has fallen into the cat litter.
Eek
Indeed. I mean, I feel sorry for this person, but I mean, I'm also like, just pick it out and wash it. But,
it depends how clean it is, I suppose.
No, I guess so. Well, again, just bleach the thing.
Well, yeah.
What's the thing my parents used? My parents used to like wash everything in Milton. I think it was called Milton.
Oh, yeah.
It was basically like some like low level bleach, so it didn't actually bleach anything, but it did kill all bacteria type deal. My mum used to use that all the time. But I had a question around this for you actually, and now I can't remember what it was. Like, have you ever accidentally dropped anything in the litter box? And
right, as a cat man.
Yeah. Catmandu. Yep.
No. No, and certainly not a toothbrush. Do you know what's interesting is that actually I tend to find that litter trays usually people have downstairs, but then this one they've got in the bathroom, which in a way kind of makes sense because that's where you do your business. Why wouldn't the cat do their business there as well?
Could also be a bungalow, don't forget.
It could be a bungalow, yeah. But just forget what I've just said there. I'm just talking nonsense. Of course it could be a bungalow. I tell you what, though. I have not dropped anything in cat litter, but what I have done, when they say, if you get something wet, like we were talking about with the phone or the case thing, they say put it somewhere dry, but put it in rice.
Put it in a bag of rice, yeah.
Yeah. The other thing that you can put it in, which gets rid of moisture and really good at getting rid of moisture, cat litter.
Yeah. Actually,
Yeah.
I've heard that before. Actually, yeah.
Yeah. So I haven't dropped a phone. I haven't dropped my phone into cat litter, but I have put my phone into cat litter on purpose.
How did the cat feel about that?
In a vain attempt, not in the tray. I mean, obviously, I put it in a little Tupperware.
I
It wasn't like, oh, hang on, move to one side, would you please, Kitty? I'm going to just pop this in.
Mine out,
Just
Charlie.
try and avoid it if you can. No, no, in a separate container with completely fresh cat litter. I should add. I've actually submerged the iPhone, but that was the same, exactly the same occasion where it all went to pot. It was a bad day.
Sounds like a really bad day.
It didn't work.
No, because you said, like, people say, oh, put it in a bag of rice. It doesn't work. It doesn't work how people think it works, because the idea is that it absorbs moisture. You're better off getting those little bags of silica gel that you get in, bags of stuff, like, when you buy a new backpack or something, you get those little bags of silica gel. You're better off getting a crap ton of that and putting it in there. But what you're also better off doing is just hit it with a don't hit it with a hairdryer, but blow it with a hairdryer. You're more likely to dry it out that way, because you need heat to dry out moisture.
I thought you were going to say hit it with a hammer and then claim on the insurance that you dropped it or something.
I mean, there's that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't think of that.
Yeah. Yeah. What a mess. So yeah, if you're in the bath, just be careful. If you're tired, don't take your phone in with you. Yeah. Although I think they are a little bit waterproof these days, or they claim to be. They're more water resistant.
Yeah, they're better at resisting being, submergents these days, which is good. Ruby's been in the chat saying, "Ew, no washing. Toothbrushes are cheap. Toothbrushes are cheap. Buy a new one." Well, that's this is an electric toothbrush. These can be quite costly.
But they have the not inserts, but
I know you get the heads and
that you put on the end.
But the rest of it is, you've still got the handle in there, and that you touch that with your hand, you put that near your face. Are you going to just throw that out and buy a new one of those as well? Because they're quite expensive. But I get the point though. If it's just a manual toothbrush, I'd bin that shit.
Nah, give it a rinse. It'll be fine.
Yeah, see, that's what I say. Just clean it.
It just depends on whether the cat's managed to rinse on it as well.
Yeah. I mean, I'll be honest. You probably can't see it that well, but I do think the litter has been used, based on some of the dark patches, and I think there's a little poo in the corner over here. Yeah. I think this litter tray has been used. So yeah, probably better to throw out the head on that one, but you absolutely need to just clean the handle. Don't throw that away.
Yeah.
That's good. But yeah, there we go. So I thought that was a good oh no, sorry, there was one more. There's one more. One more thing that really describes how my day is going today, and this is it. It's the chocolate falling off the top of my eclair.
Oh God! I thought it was a close-up on that litter tray.
Yes, this is the poo from the litter tray, and it is represented by chocolate falling off. And it's not so. Dog dirt is represented by banana skins.
Yeah.
Cat poop in a litter tray is represented by chocolate falling off of an eclair.
Yeah.
So there we go. We've set a new precedent.
Yeah. I was thinking about dog poo earlier.
Oh, okay. This is going to be a good one.
Yeah, no, I can't remember what it was, though. It was something... Oh, I remember what it was. I was in a shop. I don't know what kind of shop. What kind of shop was it?
One that sells things.
Yeah. I was in a shop. Let's call it a corner shop, just to, give the story some colour. And then I went... And then towards the door... There was a thing, they have like the little like corner bits where you have a bit of card, and then stuffed into it you have lots of the same thing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like bags of nuts.
Or... Yeah, you get like pork scratchings hanging off.
Yeah, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, anyway, this was poo bags.
Okay.
And they were called. Were they? Yeah, they were called poo bags.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't remember what I was thinking now. I think I was thinking, what did it say? I can't remember now. But I just thought, yeah, poo bags. But then they're clearly dog poo bags. So why not just instead of calling it poo bags, which is an unusual thing to call something,
It's a bag for poo.
You could call it doggy bag. Well, doggy bags gives us the wrong sort of idea, doesn't it, as well?
So a doggy bag is something else.
Yeah.
Even though, but then again, you're right. Why is a doggy bag called a doggy bag?
Yeah.
Surely it's just a leftover bag.
We could call it
or bag for leftovers,
or a dog walking bag.
Yeah.
It's evident that it's going to be for poo, and also if you say poo bag, that gives the impression that that's for your own poo. And the thing, well, you never know. There might be people from other cultures who think, "Oh, is that what we're supposed to do?"
Maybe.
Yeah, you gotta be careful when it comes to labeling things.
You really do. But it's weird though, like I say, because you've got poo bags, but then why is a doggy bag called a doggy bag?
Because you take it home for the dog.
Okay, all right, yeah. I don't think because I don't give food to a dog. My food.
Yeah. Have you got a dog?
No.
Well, there you go then.
So I shall call it a me bag. Yeah, a humany bag. Yep.
Humany bag. Yeah.
Humany bag. Can you put that in a humany bag for me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dear, oh dear. I mean, do you ever eat anything from a doggy bag? I mean, I tend to find that doggy bags tend to get filled up and then you forget all about it. The only time I ever eat anything that's left over is usually either there's a lot of it, and it was the justification for the cost of the meal was we'll get another meal out of this.
Yeah.
It's either that or potentially pizza. Especially if there's been a 2 for 1, 3 for 2, or whatever it was deal.
Well, I've never taken leftovers home with me in the UK. I've always eaten. Well, then again, it's rare that I take leftovers anyway. So, I mean, you could, if you knew it, you can ask my girlfriend when I went to visit. We went out, for dinner, well, basically every night. And there's a point, we've gone to this pizza joint. And
to clarify for the audience, this is in the USA.
Yeah, it's in America, by the way. Sorry. But we went to a pizza joint, and I got this massive calzone. So we had like a sharing platter to start, and then I had a massive calzone. And I eat a lot, and I love to eat. It's my favorite thing. So we basically finished off the sharing platter. That was cool, and I really enjoyed that. And then this massive calzone comes out, and I'm about halfway through, and I'm really, really enjoying it. But then the waitress comes over. And is like, do you want a to-go box for that? And I'm like, no, I'm good. Just watch this. And I'm going. Yeah, I'm just eating. Yeah. I'm pretty sure I shocked my girlfriend that day. I don't know. Yeah. She was like, holy crap, this dude can eat.
Yeah, I think that is the culture over there to have massive portions.
It absolutely is.
Take some of it home.
That's it. Take it home. And so even though, because generally I think their food is probably around the same price point, or like per meal, I think it's around the same price point when you go out to eat, obviously depending on the restaurant. Like you go to a pizza joint here, I don't know, like Pizza Express or something, you're paying maybe £20-25 for a pizza. I think I was paying for that massive calzone, I don't remember exactly, but it was around $30, $35 maybe. There was much more of it than what you'd ever get in Pizza Express. The culture is you don't eat all of it. You're going to take some of it home and have it either later or the next day or something. But no, because I was always brought up with you eat everything that's put in front of you, and that's exactly what I did. Much to my girlfriend's distress, I'm pretty sure.
You can't do that over there.
No. Well, that's why I'm fat, because I eat everything that's put in front of me.
Yeah.
And I eat everything that I lay my eyes on, and in the fridge and freezer. And if I get snacky, I'm going to go cook a full meal.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe you should get some sort of blindfold.
Right. Okay.
Can't see it, can't eat it.
Yeah, there's that. What I also thought about was COVID. I did think about COVID the other day. I was like, because I'm trying to lose weight and not doing too bad actually. I think from when I started at the start of the year, I think I'm about 5 pounds down, which is pretty good. Over a few weeks, so that's pretty good, I think. But I was thinking, the reason I like to eat is because I like the taste of food. And then I started thinking about COVID and how a lot of people were reporting that they lost their sense of taste, during COVID. And I was like, maybe I should just get long COVID that causes me to not taste anything ever.
Yeah.
And I'll probably stop eating because I'll just lose all enjoyment from it.
Yeah.
Because it's all about the taste. I love the taste of food.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think it's really a healthy situation to lose enjoyment in things you once used to enjoy.
Yeah. Desperate times, Ted. Desperate times.
Yeah. Yeah. But certainly, yeah, if you're in the States, use the doggy bag. Use the doggy bag offer.
Absolutely.
Even if you snack on it on the way home.
Right.
You know, at least you've tried.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. I tell you what I wouldn't want from over there is the tipping culture.
I don't have a
That
massive
would
problem with
annoy
it.
me.
I don't have a big problem with that.
Yeah.
No, I really don't have that big of an issue with that.
We've talked about things over there, like in terms of the way that prices are displayed in shops.
Yeah, just put the tax on the ticket, man.
But I feel like the whole thing is designed to dupe people.
Yeah.
Right? We're not going to display the real price.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you get to the end of the price, then there's going to be, this social compulsion to hand over, nearly half a gain just because somebody brought something over from a table. And people move things from one table to another in various other, jobs and, even service industry, but you don't tip them. But then all of a sudden you've got to tip somebody because you're sat at a table for half an hour.
The culture out there for that. I mean, there was a whole. I watched a whole video on it. It's like, why is tipping culture still a big thing in the United States, but not really anywhere else? And it's the laws out there, like the employment laws, are so vastly different. Like there is a minimum wage that doesn't apply to hospitality.
Right.
If you are a waiter, a host or a server of some description. You are not subject to those same laws. Your minimum wage is actually a lot lower in some states. I know it varies by state, as it always does, but it's actually a lot lower. So they do rely on the tipping. But then there's a whole thing about being taxed on tips.
Yeah.
And I think some states have tried to turn it around so they don't get taxed on tips because obviously that's a variable. It's a gratuity. It's they're saying it shouldn't be taxable, but there's a whole thing about it. But yeah, it's. But the tipping culture out there is generally because, I mean, it's from fucking 200 and nearly 50 years ago.
Yeah.
The tipping culture kind of started. Actually, no, it didn't. I think it started in, it's gonna bug me because, like I said, I watched this video and it was I think it was some visitors that came over to America. They just basically started tipping and just started, going, yeah, thanks very much. Here's some money for you. On top of what we've already paid for the food. This is for you for doing a good job. And because obviously the idea of it is that, it incentivizes the servers to, be friendly and do a good job and, be attentive and all this stuff. And they just morphed into this whole culture of, you tip. But I still get confused by it in the UK. Like, am I supposed to tip? Am I not supposed to tip? Like some people say, oh, you're going to leave a tip. I'm like, why? They earn a minimum wage, and don't get me wrong, if they provide exemplary service, I will leave some money on the table for them.
Yeah.
And a commensurate amount. People say, oh, 10% is enough or 20%. But it's like when people start going, oh, it's 20%. I'm like, okay, so my £50 bill has now cost me £70. Because you want me to leave 20%. No, I'll leave a tenner. That's commensurate. But again, it's also dependent on the level of service they provided. If it's been amazing and exemplary, I'll be like, yeah, have some money. Great, thank you. I appreciate it. But if you've been shit, you're not getting fuck all.
Yeah.
If you've just thrown a plate in front of me or, whatever, I don't know, just the one that gets me, right, is, and this is a heinous crime in my book when it comes to hospitality. When my food arrives before my drinks.
Yeah. Yeah, it shouldn't work like that.
No. And if you're looking for a tip, forget it. Because getting a drink is a lot faster than cooking food. So
yeah. I don't like it when things are unnecessarily slow. And I know you've got to cook food, but then, like you say, the drinks should be pretty quick. And just just to point out, right, 20% on 50 quid would be it would be 60 quid then.
Whatever. It's Friday night, man. I can't.
I don't want you to be tipping people too much because you think, oh well, it's got to be that. But yeah, the what was I saying? What was the thing? The thing about the thing,
drinks not arriving before the
drinks
food.
not arriving on time. But the worst thing is when you finished your meal. You clearly finished your meal. They may have even take the plates away. It's like, what do you think is the next thing?
Yeah.
Now, I don't know what they expect, especially if you've already had a pudding. Like, what are they waiting for? The idiots. They know that that's it.
Now,
so why don't they come? And even worse than that, when they do come and you do get to say to them, oh, can I have the bill, please? They then bring you the bill. And if you're not quick,
they just fuck off again.
Fuck off.
They just piss off again.
Why? Where are you going?
Now, this is a big cultural difference between the UK and the US. So in the UK, when we go out, it's an event and it's a gathering and it's a big social occasion. So generally, we, as Brits, as Britons, we like to hang around afterwards. We'll finish the meal and, we might even hail down the bill and then pay it. But then we might actually end up sat around for another half an hour talking, depending on the restaurant. Some of them will be like, come on, get out. We've got other people waiting. But, there's a big culture here of actually making an event of it and it taking some time. In America, that's not the case because there is a much bigger culture of going out to eat. There are many more places to eat, much more variety. It's a very different culture out there. So when you go out to eat, you literally go in, you get sat down, and like you say, as soon as you're finished, plates are gone, bills on the table. They're waiting. They're literally stood there waiting for you to get cash out or your card or whatever.
Yeah.
So they can get you out the door and they can get the next customers in. But that also comes back around to the tipping culture thing as well. The faster they can turn around a table, the more money they're going to make on tips, theoretically.
And also, the more efficient they are, then the more likely you're going to be to tip them rather than any moment. I mean, the thing is, you can spoil a tip or the prospect of a tip by being too slow.
Yeah.
Like, well, it took ages for them to bring this out or that out, or they never came back, or they didn't give me eye contact, or whatever it may be. There's plenty of things to piss you off from the start to the end of a meal.
Yeah.
So yeah, but that's certainly one of those things. Bringing the bill and then scarpering. It's like, well, what? Come back.
I don't understand that when they do bring you the bill, but then they just piss off immediately, and you're literally like, oh, hang on a minute, I'm here. My wallet's in my hand.
Yeah.
Where are you going?
Honestly, I think the hanging around afterwards is probably that sounds more like a continental Europe type of thing.
Maybe
when they sit around drinking wine forevermore, like they have been doing since about lunchtime. And managed to fit in a nap at some point.
But yeah, it's definitely but there are some big cultural differences when it comes to going out to eat. Like I said, we don't try to hang around here in the UK. But like I say, some of it is because your waiter or waiting person does take their sweet ass time bringing you the bill. But sometimes, like I say, people just want to hang around and talk because maybe you haven't seen these people for a little while, and it's like I'm going out with work on Tuesday night. I fully expect that we're going to be sat around that table for about 4 hours, because we're a group of people that don't meet up very often.
Yeah,
and there's going to be a lot of catching up to do. Okay, we might occasionally exchange emails or instant messages during work time, but we don't socialize that often. So there's going to be a kind of a thing of hanging around and socializing.
It's very rare that I'm sat down having a meal somewhere that is comfortable enough to stay that long.
That's true.
Because it doesn't take long before I get, oh my bloody coccyx, I need to get up.
That's why I try to take the bench if I can.
Yeah.
When you're on a table that's got a bench and then some chairs on the other side, I just immediately go for the bench.
Yeah.
That's what I do. Anyway, what else was I going to say? Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Comments are a bit quiet. Come on, everyone. Tell us your fun stories of going out for meals, or what have you washed accidentally, or what have you accidentally dropped in dog poo or whatever.
Yes. Where are our regulars?
Where are they?
Yeah.
Ruby's here, so representing the regs. But
absolutely. No excuses for the rest of you.
No, don't know where they are.
No.
Don't know where they are. But anyway.
Terrible. Well, anyway, should we move on to something else?
I think we shall.
Because I've been having a little gander around, and you know what? I came up with one last week, which was a relationship advice one, and I've got another one here, which is quite a fun one. And this, I don't know. I don't know whether you put this down to being a communication error or what. But this one is girlfriend. And see, I'll mess it all up with these 29M and all this sort of business. But girlfriend wanting to break up over my 29M. So he's 29, male, obviously. Girlfriend wanted to break up over my answer to her question about whether I talk about other women with friends. Rational ? So he's asking, is it rational that she should be so upset that I talk to other women, other people, other men about other women? No, that I talk to, I basically, I talk to my friends about other women from time to time. My girlfriend doesn't like it. Is she being rational?
Why would you not?
Okay. Right, at the very outset, you know, the sentence is she being rational. You could always take that one with a pinch of salt anyway. But moving swiftly on, we have this. Basically, yesterday, my girlfriend of 2 years asked me whether I talk about or comment on other women with friends. I perhaps foolishly answered, yeah, sure, sometimes. I made it clear, and I'll make it clear again here, that I'm not talking about fawning over someone, nor do I have the intention of pursuing something with anyone else. But sure, I have, amongst friends, commented on someone who might be particularly attractive. That doesn't sound too outlandish to me.
No.
No. I told her that, I mean, it's not even as though he's saying it to the actual person. He's not saying, oh, hello, Sandra, you're looking very attractive today. He's saying to Bob, oh, yeah, Sandra, she's all right, I suppose. I told her that in both my experience and opinion, both single and taken guys will talk about women, even though it's faithful partners. I believe that women are sometimes do the same about guys. I cannot comment from experience. I have absolutely zero issue with her doing so. Yeah, absolutely. Women are always talking about men and talking about the men that they're with and, you know, all the sort of tittle tattle and, you know, all that sort of business. They can't keep the gob shut.
All right.
It's true. It's true. Anyway, she said that this was completely disrespectful.
Okay.
Borderline cheating. She is seriously considering ending the relationship, as she is that annoyed by this. She wants me to promise not to comment on another woman again behind her back. That is, of course, if we stay in a relationship at all. What do you guys think of this? What are your thoughts on commenting amongst friends on another man or woman whilst in a relationship? Finally, what should my next move be here? Thanks for your comments. I'll reply you all.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's an interesting one, isn't it?
Mm.
People will always comment on other people. It's just a fact of life, I think. It doesn't mean anything. It's, you know, if you're out with the boys and you're those kind of boys that are just like, oh, look at that, you know, then sure, that's going to happen. You know?
Yeah.
I don't think you should be annoyed by that, unless obviously there is evidence of him cheating. I mean, saying it's borderline cheating, feels extreme.
Oh yeah, I mean that's just bollocks, isn't it?
You know,
it's not cheating. It's not borderline cheating. It's not even close to cheating. It's not even talking to any other women. You know, he's not even talking to them. It's like, this isn't a question of, oh, do you know what? My girlfriend doesn't like it when I flirt with other women. It's nothing even approaching that.
No.
It's just making some sort of comment with friends about other women, especially considering other women do that about men, and they do it all the time.
Okay.
So why can't men do that?
I was going to say, men and women are both equally, I won't say guilty, but are, you know, they both do it. You know, like I say, it's a fact of life. I mean, I don't know. Can't remember the last time I did do that. Then again, it's not that's not me as a person. I'm not looking around going, "Oh, look at that," or just walking around and thinking, as people are walking past me, just going, "Smash." I'm not doing that. I'm usually busy thinking about something else. Whether it's work or podcasts or something, schoolwork or something. I'm thinking about something else. I'm not.
You might be thinking smash. You're not saying it.
Exactly. What normally happens is I'll think to myself smash, and then I'll start singing the jingle from the Cadbury Smash adverts. For Mash Get Smash.
Okay.
That's usually what happens to me. That's how my brain works.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not something I really do, to be honest. But again, I don't really talk to people, so no. I'm not a people person.
No. No, you save it up for Friday evening.
Yeah.
And then speak to the world.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, I think his girlfriend. Interestingly though, his girlfriend is 23. I missed her off when it came to the brackets 23F close brackets. So maybe she needs to. I don't know. Maybe she's just a bit insecure about things.
Maybe. Or maybe they're just different people and they react differently, or they have different feelings about it.
Yeah. He certainly doesn't seem like he's intending to do anything wrong.
No.
Or in fact, doing anything wrong.
No. Her reaction there just tells me that's more of a trust issue.
Yeah.
Yeah. She doesn't trust him. Or I mean, how long have they been in a relationship? 2 years. Yeah. I mean, if after 2 years you're thinking to yourself, I don't like the fact that he's doing that. Like you say, that's a bit. It feels like an insecurity. It feels like there's a trust issue there, and she probably needs to work on that.
Yeah. Either that, or maybe, or it may just be a way in which she can start an argument about something.
Yeah, if there were,
because that's not unheard of.
No, I'm saying there are people in the world who thrive on arguments.
Absolutely. But anyway, so what do we think then? Is it rational?
I don't want to answer that question. I don't want to answer it because
why? You don't even know the woman.
No, I don't. But that's the problem. I don't know her.
No, you don't know her.
How can I make a snap judgment based on however many it was that 4, 7, 10, 12, 13 lines of description? How can I make a snap judgment about this?
Well, isn't that the point of this? To look at it and make a decision based on what you've written, what you've read.
Well, that really is the point of it. Yeah. Is she being irrational? Possibly. I think context is needed, but ignoring all that, because we all know how I like to sit on the fence. I love the view from up here.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I think it's a little irrational. If it's just but again, she may not really understand that there is no intent there. It's just commenting with the boys, or it could be one of the other boys started it, and he just went. One of the other boys went, "Oh, she's really fit," or whatever, and he's gone, "Yeah, all right, yeah, I guess so."
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't sound like a reasonable, unreasonable conversation to have. Also to end up finding yourself within.
True. I mean, the starting question of do you comment on other women feels like it's a very loaded question, because there's one of two responses: yes, I do. Argument. No, I don't. You're a liar. Argument.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because in her head, she already knows what the answer should be.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and she already has an idea of what he does. And it's that, no, I don't do that. Oh, you're a liar because every man does that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, okay, occasionally I do. Oh, so why did you tell me you didn't?
Yeah, exactly.
There's a few comments on this, as you can imagine. One of them just asking another question: are you commenting on celebs or random women walking by when you're with your friends, or are you commenting about mutual friends, co-workers, acquaintances, girlfriends?
Oh,
you've lost me there.
I know you're back now. Well, welcome back.
It's been a long time. I've been gone for 20 years. So if you I suppose you could get into the disrespectful sort of element if you're talking about other people's girlfriends or something.
Yeah.
But then I don't know. Maybe you're talking about them to that person who had that girlfriend, and
Maybe.
they're just saying, "Oh, something about their girlfriend."
Maybe.
I don't know.
But that's it. I think this is where I kind of said, I think there's a bit of context that's needed there. Is it a case of, are they watching a movie or a TV show and, like you say, a celebrity comes on and they all go, "Oh yeah, she's all right, right?"
Yeah, yeah.
Or there's a, like you say, it's co-workers, friends, acquaintances, people that they know. That's
yeah.
There's a lot in that, but
Yeah.
I think either way, from my side of it, it's going to happen. I'm not saying it's right, but it does happen.
But the hypocrisy, I mean, it's a bit of a trope anyway, isn't it? I mean, it's like everybody's seen a sketch like this where there's a man and a woman watching TV, and he says, she says, "Oh, do you think she's pretty?" And he goes, "Oh yeah, yeah, she's not bad." She goes, "What, more than me? What's wrong with me?
Right?
Why are you saying I look fat?" And then, and then a few moments later, she was like, "Oh, Daniel Craig. Oh, what I wouldn't do to that." You know, it's like, well, okay, fine. So that's acceptable then.
Me, I just go, "Hey, you find someone attractive? Cool.
Yeah,
I don't care.
Yeah,
there's a simple rule. Just you can look, don't touch."
Yeah. So anyway, there we go.
As long as you know where your bread's buttered, that's all that really matters to me.
Well, absolutely. Yeah, he just needs to work out. He just needs to sit down and work out some good answers to questions before he gets them. Right? You just got to realise that these things are going to come along, and they're all traps, and you need to know what to do to get out of it.
Is this like a lifelong job interview? So you got to prepare your questions, prepare your answers to questions that are going to be asked of you. But instead of just for that 1 or 2 hour period for that interview, you got to prepare for this for your entire life.
Yeah.
Oh.
I was watching something where they were, I think there's a podcast, and they were looking at an app which is designed as basically as a trainer for men, and it's like having a conversation. So it's an AI thing. So it's like having an AI girlfriend,
right?
But it basically tries to get you into arguments.
Okay.
So so basically almost everything you say, you'll get back that kind of women's logic argument come back at you. Okay. And like it gets you used to answering these questions and trying to basically get out scot-free, as it were.
Yeah.
I tell you, I've got a slightly shorter one here. That's what she said.
That's what she said.
That's I got in there first. That's what she said.
Also what she.
Yeah. Anyway, my girlfriend, this bloke is 26, she's 24. My girlfriend wants to join bank accounts. Okay, I think what he means there is they want a joint account.
Yeah, open a joint bank account.
Yeah, or she wants one. My girlfriend and I have been together for 5 years. We live together and currently split our expenses 50-50.
Mm-hmm.
Recently, she's been suggesting that we combine our finances. I'm hesitant to do this as it's not common in our culture. What's this culture?
So what culture is that?
That would be useful to know, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Context. I'm unsure how to navigate any loss of financial independence. For couples who have joint finances, please could you share your experience? Is this something you would recommend? For context, we both work full-time. She actually earns significantly more than I do, as she has multiple side gigs and enjoys stock trading. So I'm not concerned about her taking advantage of me financially. What are your thoughts?
It's really easy. So I've had this idea in my head for a long time of if I was in a position where there might be a requirement or a conversation around having a joint account. And that is, okay, let's open a joint account in both of our names. We go Dutch on the bills or whatever arrangement they've got on paying the bills. If she earns significantly more than him, maybe she pays a higher percentage than he does. You know, maybe they literally work it out on a ratio of their earnings and then do it that way. But either way, I'd just be like, fine, open a joint account. My salary's still going to be paid into my account, but then I'm just going to send over all the bill money into that account. And what we'll actually do is we'll round it up to, say, the nearest 100. And then what you end up with is a bit of an impromptu savings pot. So after 12 months, you've hopefully then got enough money in there that you can go take a break somewhere, go off on a weekend break, or buy something nice for the both of you, or for the house, or whatever. You know, that's been my philosophy for a long time. I'm absolutely down for that. The challenge becomes, the challenge becomes if there is a problem and you split up, and you then have to split that money. But also, it's just, well, if she's been paying in 70% and he's been paying in 30%, for example, well, whatever's left in there, you just go, well, just split it 70-30.
Yeah.
I'm not going to sit here and nickel and dime someone just to get as much money as I can. I'm just like, just fucking split it as we've been paying it in. I really don't care. Because if we're at that point in the relationship where everything's broken down and we're splitting up and we've got to close this account, I'm moving out, whatever, I'm just like, I just don't care. Just split the money however you see fit. I'll take whatever and I'll get out. That's it. We're done.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to pay my salary into that account because I also have personal expenses, you know, that I want to, you know, manage myself. You know, I'm more than happy for household things to go in there, gas, electric, internet, rent, you know, or mortgage or whatever, to go into there, and it all gets paid together. That's fine. But, you know, when I'm paying for my mobile phone, when I'm paying for, well, again, you know, you can put all your subscriptions in there, your Netflix and, you know, Prime and all that stuff can all go into the joint account. But there are some things I'm just going to keep paying myself because it will change over time. And what I don't what I don't expect is that if my monthly phone bill is significantly more expensive than my partner's monthly phone bill, they shouldn't have to pay that because they're not getting any benefit from it. All that goes in the joint account is what we as a couple get benefit from. Everything else is mine. You know, I will still have my own savings account that I'll put money away to save, you know, because, you know, we all need savings, etc. But no, I've got no problem with joint accounts.
Yeah.
Like I say, you can probably tell I've thought about this a lot. You know, in multiple scenarios where I've either lived with someone or wanted to live with someone where I thought this is how we could manage it. I feel like this is a good scenario. I can't see a downside to it. You know, your money stays yours, but what you contribute to the house goes into a joint account.
Yeah.
And all the bills get paid from there.
Yeah, I don't think I could come up with a better answer than that. I think that's probably the best thing, to have a joint account, but have a separate joint account that is really just a way of managing those household bills that you as you say, both rely on the services or whatever it may be. So it's your rent and your utilities and things like that.
Yep.
And then both pay into it. As you say, if there's a bit of a surplus, then, you know, especially they're doing 50-50. So if they both pay in the same amount, there you go. It's 50-50 all the way. And when they've got savings, they've got 50-50 as well, which is fine. But I wouldn't put any more into that, any more savings into that, because then that's when you can have sort of difficulties. I mean, he says he doesn't think she'll take advantage of him financially, but one never knows. And the other thing is, if she's into the whole stock trading, she's like, well, okay, I've got a dead cert, so I'm just going to clear out this savings account, whatever it may be. No, really, that should be just a bit of a buffer, or the time when they can say to themselves, well, listen, let's have that extra takeaway because we've got this in the account, or something like that. Or,
so, you know, the fridge breaks.
Yes.
Oh, we need to buy a new fridge. Well, that's all right. We got like $600 or £600 sat in the joint account. We'll just pay for it out of that. Win. Done.
Yeah.
Problem solved. No one's then scrambling going, oh, who's going to pay for it? Or what money have we got? It's just sat in the joint account. Just use that. Yeah. It's fine. You know, you can have a card, but the card just like lives in the drawer, out of the way. You know, but when you need to go to Curry's and buy a new washing machine, you take that card with you and go, right, we're going to buy this on that. There you go. We both get benefit from it. Done. Piece of cake.
Yeah.
Easy.
You can worry about whose fridge it is when you split up later.
Precisely. But that's it. That's literally what it comes down to, though, doesn't it? It's you know, there has to be trust in your relationship. There has to be trust and belief that your relationship is going to succeed. If you're spending time thinking to yourself, oh, we split the bills 50-50, which, and let's say the bills come to, I don't know, so I'm just going to pick a number, £900. Okay, we both need to put in 450 to make that 50-50. But actually, if we just both put in 500, every month we're going to have an extra £100 going in. But you have to believe that your relationship is going to succeed. So when you do have to buy a new fridge or a new washing machine, that you're not going to then get 6 months down the road and go, oh, how do we deal with that? That shouldn't even be in your mind at that point. The fact that you have a joint account, the fact that you are paying for everything together, should tell you that the relationship is on a good path or on a good track, and you're going to be okay. If you're spending your time thinking, what's my contingency if this all goes wrong, it's going to go wrong. Because you're never going to be trusting of the relationship. So, the fact that she wants a joint account says that she trusts the relationship, which she believes it's going to succeed. If he doesn't want it, then maybe, recently she has been suggesting that we combine our finances. I'm hesitant, as it's not common in our culture. I mean, I need a context clue out of that one. What's the culture?
Well, I don't know, and you know what? It might just
I know
be.
You don't know.
No, I don't know. But I mean, in terms of culture, it might just be general, sort of Western culture. I mean, these days, I don't think many people do have joint accounts, just like straight off joint accounts.
Yeah.
And they used to back in the day. But I think possibly more of a boomer thing. I mean,
yeah.
I don't think in more recent years that's been a thing so much.
I mean, I would be in that position of, okay, so maybe we won't open a joint account, but what we will do, one of us will open another account. I don't need, if my girlfriend wants to open an account in her name that all the bills come out of, cool. I'm just going to send my money into it. I don't care. That's your account.
I mean, setting up a joint account is a piece of cake. I mean, it's easily done. With one or either of their banks, they'll be able to, get a joint account set up, and then put the other one as a signatory. It's not difficult.
Exactly. Exactly. But it does. I think a joint account does show trust. It does show belief in your relationship and what you're trying to achieve. I don't see a problem with it.
Yeah.
Cultural, uncommonality or not, I don't see a big problem with this. And like I say, at the point, if I, as and when I get to move out to the United States and live with my girlfriend, I'll happily just be like, whatever job I've got, whatever money I'm earning, I'm just going to send 50% of the household bills to your account. Because right now you pay for it anyway. I'll be like, this is your house. It's our home, but it's your house. So I'm just going to send it to you, and the bills will get paid. If we then move and we jointly, we sign a lease together on a new property, then there's another conversation to be had on how we want to manage that. But again, I'd also be like, well, I'm still happy to just keep doing it the way we're doing it. The bills get paid. I don't care. the mechanism for getting the bills paid, I'm really not fussy about, as long as the bills get paid, because I kind of like having a roof over my head.
So there we go, Thaitama. Strange name, but there we go. There's your answer for you. Whatever it was, get a joint account, but just for those bills.
Just for the bills.
Yeah.
Keep the rest of your money as yours.
Yeah.
I think that's just you protecting yourself, really. But again, if you, like you say, a boomer thing was very much pull all of the money, because it's not like we're just going out and at that point we're not buying mobile phones, we're not having individual Netflix subscriptions and all this shit, all these things that are very structured around the individual. It just didn't exist. Your bills were your mortgage, your gas, electric, your telephone if you had one, your water, your grocery shopping. there wasn't really much, I don't believe, in the way of personal expenses, 30 years ago.
Well, no, and don't forget that direct debits are quite a new thing. I mean, you'd have to go somewhere and pay with a check for your pay the rent rates with your check and things like that.
Yep.
You pay car insurance at the beginning of the year because everything was so much cheaper anyway. By the time you got round to setting up a joint account, you probably paid off your mortgage already.
Yeah.
Because houses are as cheap as a bag of chips, and life was just so much easier. I mean, bearing in mind this would be like a not just a couple, but a family of four, all living on a single wage, and they'd have money left over for for whatever they needed.
Holidays.
Yeah.
That actually, and that is, I think that speaks what you just said, something there that speaks quite broadly to today's culture. The car, if you were lucky enough to have a car 40, 50 years ago, you generally only had one. You had the family car. So the joint account at that point is still okay because you're all getting benefit from it. You're both paying it together. You're paying the insurance together because you're both going to be insured on it.
Yeah.
So joint account, absolutely. Yeah. Now, a lot of people, I'm not going to say it's everybody, and I'm not even going to say it's the majority because I really don't know, but a lot of people have their own vehicle. Households have, all the adults in a household potentially can have their own vehicle.
Yeah.
Therefore, the joint part of that account is, if you're pooling all of your money, again, my car might be more expensive than the other person's car, at which point they're paying for something they're getting no benefit from. So that is my personal expense, and I'm going to pay for that out of my account, not a joint account.
Yeah.
Or if it did go in a joint account, I'd have to do some mental gymnastics to make sure the correct amount of money was sent over to pay for that without it affecting them.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the thing is, we talk about a different culture. I mean, it doesn't have to be a geographic thing. I mean, it's just a different culture now than it was. So in previous times, it would be the culture that you got a joint account. But as you say, life was simpler. And of course, then you'd have young couples who are in their early 20s getting married.
Yeah.
And that's not the case anymore. That was before they really done a great deal. Whereas now, people get together and get married when they're in the late 30s. And everybody's already established in one way or another. So they've both got a place where they're living. They've both got a car. They've both got a phone. They've both got a dog. They've both got all the things that they possibly think that they might need, and then it's combining those, it's incredibly messy because they want basically two of everything on top of everything else. Plus, they want their own holidays as well as a joint holiday.
They do.
No wonder they can't pay off the mortgage.
They want their own holidays.
Well, you know what I mean. People do, though, don't they? Because they get so used. Because the thing is, you get set in your ways. By the time you're in your mid-30s, late 30s, you're kind of set in your ways in terms of how you do things. You've got other friendship groups and whatnot. You're basically getting on with life.
Yeah.
And then it's not quite the same as growing up with somebody from your early 20s or even late teens.
Yeah. No, you're right on that one. I was
back in the day.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out the whole you have your own holidays. I'm like, you do? You don't do it as a couple? But then, like you say, sometimes there's going to be friendship groups and you'll all go off to Barbados together. Yeah. You and the boys, as lads' weekend away or whatever. Yeah, I get that. Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah. Should we
talk? Yes, shall we?
You're about to say something. Sorry, I've got a really itchy eye.
I was going to say, talking of marriage.
Yeah.
I've got something here. This is it's another relationship advice one, actually.
Is this Ted's relationship advice episode this week? Is it?
Yeah. I tell you what, I've got something that's a little bit more light-hearted.
Okay.
Unless you're easily sent into a rant. We'll come to that in a
Who,
moment.
me? Easily
Ooh,
ranted? No.
yeah. That's like saying I might have a rant about certain things.
Yeah, that's like saying,
Unlikely.
is water wet?
Unheard of. Okay, my boyfriend of 4 years just told me he doesn't see himself marrying me.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Right, there's an update at the top, but I won't read that yet. My boyfriend of 4 years told me he doesn't see himself marrying me. He told me he hasn't had that kind of hell yeah, I want to marry you feeling. But in the same breath, he tells me he loves me and wants to be with me right now. He claims there's nothing I did, that there's nothing he can pick out about me that he doesn't tick his boxes or check his boxes, this person's put, but because he hasn't had that grand, giant feeling, he doesn't want to continue after the lease, but wants to be together. Oh, so basically they're living together. After the lease comes to an end, he's not guaranteed that he wants to get a new one. That's even worse.
Yeah.
Yes, I feel like he wants me to be a placeholder until someone else comes around. For a little backstory, he's not an openly emotional person. He thinks very black and white with logic and is not expressive in emotional feelings to a point he himself has admitted he may be on the autism spectrum because his brain doesn't work like a normal person. Well, yeah, or he's a man and you're trying to expect him to be the same as you, but you're not because you're a woman. Who knows? A year ago, he broke up with me. I moved out and basically moved across the country. Within a week, he called me asking me to come home. He misses me. He has no purpose. He never felt so alone in his life. Oh, that's what he was saying to her. Told him if he wants me to come back, he needed to come and get me and then show me. He buys a plane ticket that night, comes back and gets me within 24 hours of that phone call. Now, a year later, another move together into another place, and he drops this on me. I feel like I'm crazy for thinking that when he came and got me, that was his, yeah, I want to live with this girl moment. But maybe I'm just trying to justify and find a reason as to try and have him stay. I feel like he is my person, and I want to be a partner with him forever. We currently live in the same apartment and now living in separate rooms. Am I too blinded to see the reality that he'll never be with me? Or is he just confused and missing the bigger picture and overlooking what is happening? Well, would you like the update?
So I've obviously read the update, but even before that, I'm just thinking, just dump his ass. He clearly doesn't give a shit.
Let's have the update. I did break up with him. I'm working on starting to heal myself. I will take things day by day, not to allow myself to fall back into a routine. I'm making steps to leave, and in this time, I shall plan so I can be okay. So there we go. Well, that's the answer to that. She has left. I don't know. I mean, it's fair to say that somebody might be with somebody for 4 years, but not entirely be sure that they want to get married. I mean, there's plenty of people out there, men and women, that don't think that they necessarily feel like they want to get married. Plenty of people who, go along happily for many years without getting married and have children and all sorts.
I was going to say, there's plenty of people in the world that never get married. My auntie and uncle, fun story for you. My mum and dad met because of my auntie and uncle. Yeah. So my auntie is my dad's sister, and my uncle is my mum's brother. So my mum and dad met because of them. They have never got married to this day, and they've been together forever. And they never got married. Some people are just happy like that, you know. I personally don't know if it's a requirement for every relationship to get married. And some people are, I think we've discussed this before, either on the show or off. And I know I've discussed it with some other people as well. But it's like, there was this whole thing of, get married, get tax benefits, whatever. Declare your love to the world, etc. Get a piece of paper that says, you legally owe half of your shit to the other person. But on the same vein, I mean, I don't know if that's still the case, like the whole tax thing. I don't know if that's still the case today. But I don't know. Do you need that anymore? But religion, certainly in the UK, people. I don't think people get married for religious reasons as much anymore. I don't know. Maybe I'm just talking myself into a hole, and I actually have no idea what the hell I'm talking about.
Yeah, it's possible. But I think yes, people are less likely to get married for religious reasons. But also, I think there are plenty of people, like we were talking about, people getting together later on in life. They're possibly less likely to go down that line if they're already, in their, 30s or 40s, and certainly those people who've been together for quite a while. Never really wanted to commit, and then ended up having children together, and they're still together. They might just think, well, what's the point?
Exactly,
and never quite get round to it, which is fine if you want to do that, but
yeah, fine, I guess.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, yeah, maybe there was something, way back in the, whenever. The whole marriage thing was because it was, you want our kingdoms to be united and allies. Well, my son's got to marry your daughter, and that was the contract between the two. It was bigger than just those two. It extended, much further than that. That's clearly not the case now. People aren't well in the UK. People aren't marrying each other for territory or marrying each other for status. It's just something that people just do.
Yeah.
I mean, the one thing, like, my best friend and his now wife, I never asked them why they wanted to get married, and it's not a question I'm ever going to ask them. But it's in my head. I'm like, why in 2025 or 2024 when they got married? Why in this day and age do you feel the need to get married? What's the reason? I'm really curious, and I probably should ask, but I don't want to, because I don't want to be that dick that's just like, you come across like, you shouldn't have got married. But I know I know I can phrase it in such a way that makes it come across as I'm just generally curious.
Yeah.
I'm not against marriage. I'm absolutely not. Find the right person. If that's really what you want to do, go for it. And I'm not absolutely not against it. I'm not saying I'll never get married. But yeah, I do wonder the reasoning.
Yeah.
But maybe I need to get into that position where I'm actually able to get married. To really understand it. 'Cause, I'm going to stop talking before I dig myself a real hole that I won't be able to get off.
Yeah, but you're still managing to dig a hole whilst being still on that fence.
I know.
But yeah,
I've got a very long shovel.
That is a reasonable question to say. Why do you want to get married?
Yeah.
And I think you probably would get a perfectly reasonable answer.
Yeah.
And yeah, possibly the answer might be because I want to be with that person for the rest of my life, and I want to show my friends and family and everybody that so on and so forth, that are making that sort of commitment.
Yeah.
But then again, some people can just commit to being together and just be together without having to do that.
Yeah.
I don't think there's necessarily a right or a wrong, but what I would say is that it's, I don't know, things don't necessarily work out the way you want them to, but it is a good basis for starting a family, and it's kind of one of these things that you do, and it becomes part of sort of life's milestones of life, really. It's like the next step you do that, but again, we're still talking about a next step that is quite later on in life. We're not talking about somebody who's in their early 20s.
Ruby's been in the chat. Sorry, I have spotted this.
Okay,
I did spot this a little while ago as well. So Ruby says, smart woman, first of all, obviously about the breaking up with this guy. The key is being on the same page about things like that. And I absolutely agree. You just got to be on the same page. And if you're not, it's never going to work.
Yeah.
It is
Yeah.
never going to work. Even
Well,
after
yeah.
4 years, you can't force it. Even after 4 years, you can't force it.
No. But then, again, it's not even. I mean, he even said himself that he does want to be. He wants to be together.
Mm.
And I don't necessarily think that she is some sort of placeholder. It's hard to tell. It's hard to tell because, for some people, they just don't think about marriage as being necessarily a thing they want to do.
Yeah.
I
do see it as a milestone.
Yeah.
When you get to a point in your relationship and you're like, sometimes it feels like people do it to recommit, but especially again nowadays, most couples live together before they get married.
Yeah.
Whereas they didn't used to. So getting married was part of that step of, okay, we're now married. We need a home together. Now we're going to have children.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to watch them grow up. We're going to kick them out. We're going to grow old and die.
Yeah.
Now it's jumbled around a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
In some cases, people are in a relationship. They then have a kid. Then they get a house.
Mm-hmm.
Because they've got a kid, and that's just what they need. Then they go and get married. Or sometimes they won't. Or they'll live together, then get pregnant, and then get married. Or they'll live together, get married, and then have a kid. Or, there are multiple options now.
Yeah.
Whereas it very much used to be traditional, or the done thing to, you start a relationship, you court for fucking decades, apparently. You then get married, you get a home, you then have kids. So like you say, when you describe that as milestones, that feels very milestone-ish. And I kind of feel the same. It's like you get to that point in a relationship where it's not because things have dried up. It's not because you need to show that commitment again. I feel that in a relationship you should be showing that commitment every single day of your lives together. You should be showing that commitment. But it's then a milestone to maybe it's to show the whole world. Maybe it's just to show your partner, even though you're trying every day and you hope that they see it every day, but then maybe you just go, this is what I'm going to do, or what we're going to do, or what I'd like us to do.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's a whole host of reasons, and I don't think any of them are ever going to be the correct answer.
No. Well, I mean, it's down to whatever the correct answer is for that particular person. But I mean, I didn't want to lead off from you saying things are dried up. But what I was going to say, what I was going to point out was the fact that she's 27.
Yeah.
Who's 27?
She's 27. He's 29.
Because it's all backwards when they do this. They go my brackets F27.
I hate that.
Yeah, because you just assume that they're talking about that's the next person, but they're not. It's annoying. So anyway, I mean, even if they just put in brackets, I'm 27.
You know what? Just don't put it in at all.
Or no, because it gives the context. So this is what I'm about to talk about. She's 27. Okay. She's been with this guy since she was about 23. They've been together for 4 years. There's something about being 27 and approaching 30 that's going to make her particularly want to get married. Whether she knows what it is yet or not, it will come, and that's why she's thinking about. God Almighty. That's why she's thinking about. That's why she's thinking about getting married and settling down, and the next steps, and the steps after getting married. But the problem is, if she thinks, she's going to think to herself, well, okay, well, what if we just hang around doing this and not get married for another 4 years? Well, in another 4 years, she's going to be, older. What's she going to be?
31.
30 what?
31.
31. What if it doesn't work out? At what point of it not working out does she break loose and try and start again? Because the thing is, there's a very good chance she might be with somebody else for 4 years before she does get married to somebody who does want to get married. And so her best, best case scenario at that point would be 31. And then it's then it starts to get a little bit dangerous for her, not for him, because he can carry on doing what he was doing for a lot longer.
Mm-hmm.
So that's certainly a consideration. So I can see why she's concerned about it more than he's concerned about it. question is, did they actually have that conversation about what they do after getting married or not getting married?
Well, I was going to say, what was there a calm and mature conversation around it?
Mm.
You know, but what did she say? Boyfriend of 4 years told me he doesn't see himself marrying me. He told me he hasn't had that hell yeah, I want to marry you feeling. I mean, if he said that, and she is absolutely thinking, I love this guy, I want to marry him, etc., etc., etc. You know, there needs to be a mature conversation there. You know, of well, hang on a minute, what do you need? What are you looking for you to get that feeling? What, you know, because clearly there's something wrong at this point.
Yeah.
You know, if you feel you need to have a hell yeah, I want to marry this person feeling, and you haven't had that, then what's wrong in the relationship? Or what's...
Well, yeah, the problem is there's a lot of people that all have that kind of opinion now. And this is why people are marrying later and later and later, because they're always thinking, I'm not getting that feeling. I'm not getting the thunderbolt. I'm not getting the everything that happens in a rom-com where everything just sort of falls into place. And it's obvious that that's the person I need to be with because they're, a similar level of movie star.
Yeah,
and
well,
it's clear that these two people are going to end up together.
they go, I want my social media person.
Yeah.
You know, you look at social media and the fact that you generally see the best of everyone's lives. Not many people share the bad stuff, the arguments, and you know the splitting of the housework and all the stuff that goes along with having a relationship. The majority of what you see on social media is the good stuff, and I think that's kind of trained people to think, well, I can have all of that too, and then not think about the stuff that goes with it, which might then diminish the hell yeah, I want to marry this person feeling.
Yeah. The other thing, of course, is that she will. She is on social media on what do you call it, Instagram or something similar. I mean, the thing is, a woman on Instagram can get DMs from lots of eligible men who may say, "Hey, why don't you come on a date with me? Let's go for a drink, whatever."
Do people do that?
Yeah, I think people do that.
No,
people do it. But the thing is, they may well have done that for some times previously. And the thing is, if she's constantly getting that, then she's going to think, well, maybe there are options elsewhere. And the thing is, this is all about options. This is about people. I'm talking more generally about people getting further and further on in life's journey without finding that person they want to get married to, because there are so many options open.
Yeah, maybe.
They've got like choice paralysis, and they never quite settle down. Problem is, she clearly wants to get settled down. She clearly wants to get married. She clearly wants to have children. And time's ticking away. He is not under the same level of pressure.
I'm gonna come in on a different angle. It may not even be the whole my clock is ticking. She could just genuinely feel everything for this guy and just think this guy is the one. He is the one for me. But obviously he doesn't feel the same. Yeah,
I think
because not everybody wants kids. That's another thing you got to remember. Not everyone wants kids.
A lot of people say they don't want kids until it's time that I need to have kids now.
I'll take your word on that. I've got no experience. I'm staying out of that argument because I hate the whole my body clock thing. Nah, piss off.
Yeah,
don't care about that.
People have body clocks. That is a thing, and why would it not be a thing? Instinctively, that's got to be a thing. Otherwise, we wouldn't have existed.
No, obviously.
This long,
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah. So. No, so as far as she's concerned, I think there's probably there's definitely going to be an element of that. She wants to settle down, and bearing in mind, she's not thinking to herself, "Oh, I want to get married right now to this guy," and starting to think about weddings and starting to think about next steps in life. She'll have thought about that not when she was 27. She'll have thought about that when she was 7. Oh, one day I'll get married. One day I'll have children, and things like that. Because that's what that's what people do.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you say so. I wasn't thinking about that when I was 7.
Well, no, because you were a boy and you were thinking about, that's a great stick. I wonder if I can take that stick home. That's the best stick I've ever seen.
Okay, why can't girls do that?
Basically a gun, that stick.
Yeah, right. Just walking around with just some random twig, just like that. Pow! That's literally what I did as a kid.
Yeah. So yeah, she can. So it does come to that sort of point where people think, or she might think, okay, that's been 4 years. Am I going to have to go through another 4 years and then still have the same result, or do I, cut my losses? And I'm still like 4 years behind. It's like
maybe
I've missed out on 4 years, basically.
Yeah. Well, that's it. Yeah, I think, like you say, lost time. If she's ready to settle, and just comfortably live a life with this person, like I say, she probably really likes this person, and or is genuinely in love with this person. Finds them the best thing since sliced bread. Sorry, the best thing since what was the comparison we had last week?
Ready grated cheese.
Yeah, so the best thing since pre-grated cheese.
Yeah.
And just wants to settle with him. Like I say, I'm not even thinking about does she want kids or anything like that. She just wants to be with this person, but he clearly doesn't feel the same, or is not on the same level.
Yeah.
That she is. So, like I say, from reading it or listening to that, and before I read the update, and before you said the update, I was like, just dump him. You're clearly not on the same page. Just get rid of him. It's going to be more trauma in the future than it's worth.
Yeah. But also, let's not forget, it could just be a communication breakdown.
Yeah.
Because if he's just like a certain way, or he just looks at things very logically, and he's thinking, well, why would I need to get married right now? What is the sign? Well, maybe the sign is for her to say, look, I really want to get married. If you don't marry me, we're going to have to split up, because I'm going to have to marry somebody else, and I'm going to have to know them for a while. And then, if I want to have, 2 kids or whatever she's got in her mind in the future, and he needs to know that. And you know what? This was posted originally 7 days ago. So who knows? By this time, maybe there is another update. Maybe she's left him. And maybe he's now regretting it. Maybe he's saying, hey, look, sorry, I didn't quite realise. Let's make a go of it. Let's get married.
He's saying, hey, calm down.
Yeah.
Have some chicken.
Hey. Because they do, though, don't they?
Yeah.
Don't they, though?
Don't they, though?
Yeah. So there we go. Boyfriend, brackets, M23, 29, close brackets. If you know what's good for you, have a think about that. She might still be there waiting.
Yeah. Save this one as a favourite, so we can come back to it next week and see if there is another update.
Good idea. We'll keep tabs on that one.
Yeah. I do have more, by the way. Like I say, I feel like this week is very much Ted's relationship advice show, but I actually have our classic characteristic, am I the arsehole, to go through.
Oh, yes, lovely. Let's have an arsehole.
Right. So I found a good arsehole to explore.
Excellent. We've all had nights like that.
Absolutely, yep. Hopefully it's... Anyway. Am I the arsehole for laughing at my brother for heating up his pasta in his bed sheets? Now, before I even read anything, who the fuck is heating up pasta in bed? Let alone in their bed sheets.
Mm-hmm.
How does that even work? So let's read on.
Yeah.
So I live with my brother while we're both in university. He's a pretty eccentric guy with a lot of odd habits that I'm used to. But this morning caught me off guard. Around 11 a.m, he comes downstairs after waking up, takes his lunch box of leftover chicken pasta out of the fridge and turns back to head back to his room. I jokingly ask him, are you having pasta for breakfast? Because it does seem like an odd choice, a bit of an odd choice. He just shrugs and says, nah, I like putting it in the I don't like putting it in the microwave because it makes the pasta oily. So I heat it up in my bed for a few hours. I thought he was joking at first, but he was deadly serious. I burst out laughing. Like what? Like what? Is this a normal thing? I'm still cracking up thinking about it. Anyway, he gets super mad at me for laughing, storms off upstairs, and tells me to fuck off. I mean, I'm telling him to fuck off if he's trying to heat his pasta up in bed, you know. Then Ruby's already been in the comments with, what the what? That's a little weird. Anyway, I call our sister to tell her this story to see what she thinks. She starts laughing too and doesn't believe he was being serious until he comes downstairs and explains his reasoning. So he explains his reasoning is that the pasta heats up quicker in bed than simply just leaving it on the counter. We both find this really funny, and now my brother's pissed at both of us and isn't talking to either of us. He's currently upstairs and refuses to come down and talk things out. I seriously don't understand why he can't see the funny side of things. So am I the arsehole for laughing? I honestly didn't mean to make him feel bad, but it was just so out there that I couldn't hold it in. And I'm slightly concerned for how hygienic that can be for the bed sheets. There is an update. We'll get to that in a minute. Now, there's a few things to really pick out of this and to unpack. Leaving chicken pasta that you've taken out the fridge and putting it on the counter isn't heating it up. That's just letting it not be cold anymore. To heat it up, you actually have to add heat to it. You need to put it in a saucepan or put it in the microwave and make it hot again. Doing it in the bed sheets, unless you're creating some friction in there by, going to town on yourself, that's not going to heat it up either. You're not heating anything. It's just not cold anymore because it's not in the fridge.
Yeah.
It's not hot, but it's not cold. It's room temperature. And by the way, this is chicken pasta. Chicken pasta, if you're from Liverpool. Surely you want to heat that up. Because I don't know about you, but I don't want salmonella. So, yeah. Thoughts, Ted?
Yes. So, my thoughts on this. Well, I mean, what I would say is, okay, right. I kind of sort of see where he's coming from. Now, temperature is important when it comes to foodstuffs and drinks as well.
Yep.
And also, it can be down to personal taste. So there are certain things that you might want very cold, certain things you might want hot, and certain things you might want a room temperature or something else. When it comes to certain foods, sometimes it's better to have it at a room temperature rather than very cold. And if you have something in the fridge, sitting in the fridge, it's not very nice compared to how it would be if it was just left outside or left out. And if it's in a cold kitchen or a cold pantry or something like that, then it's going to be too cold. So, okay, I'm going to go with personal experience on this one. So, there have been times when I have gone to the fridge and got a Baby Bell, and I thought, I like Baby Bells. I like cheese generally, but usually I like cheese that's basically at room temperature rather than, cold rock solid.
Okay.
It's more tasty. You can actually taste the cheese. And one way of getting your Baby Bell to a reasonable temperature, bearing in mind it's wrapped up in wax and then in the foil, is just to sit on it for a bit.
Literally sit on it.
Literally sit on it.
Okay.
Okay. Maybe just under the leg. I'm not talking about having it up your crack or anything like that.
Oh, you let me down. Oh,
that would be
disappointing.
Crackers.
Crackers. So it brings a whole new meaning to cheese and crackers.
Yeah. So I think it's the same thing. I think what he means when he says warming it up, he means he wants to eat it at a room temperature rather than
He doesn't want it cold.
Really, really cold. Yeah, that's right. And so therefore, if he has it in bed, in its Tupperware, not like just
No, he hasn't just sprawled it across
all
the
over,
sheets.
yeah. Each to their own. But if he does that, then it's going to get to a reasonable temperature for eating faster than it would do if it's just sat in the kitchen or on the side or something like that.
Okay.
So I do sympathise somewhat, but I think perhaps he was a little bit oversensitive with people laughing at that.
Yeah, it's just a little weird.
Yeah.
But okay, no, fair enough. I'm with you. I'm with you there.
Having sat on a cheese, I have sympathies.
So maybe that's what this guy should have done. He should have just sat on it instead. That would heat it up even faster.
Mm.
You know, again, you don't have to shove it up your butt crack. Just under your leg or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? Stick it under your hoodie, between your t-shirt and your hoodie. That'll warm it up.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So yeah, okay. Well, there was an update to it, so it says.
Oh, super.
Yep, update. Just to post an update, we hashed it out soon after. He finds it he finds it funny now and sees the lighter side of things. We weren't coming from a place of viciousness. My brother, sister, and I get along really well and always share funny stuff like this. However, I will try to be a bit more sensitive in future pasta-related endeavours. Also, I've given him advice to heat it up with some butter in a pan as suggested. So again, I think some people have gone down my line of it of leaving it out isn't heating it up. So actually, if you want it hot, put it in a saucepan. Again with a bit of butter or a little bit of oil. Well, actually, no, he doesn't like the oily pasta, so a bit of butter. But yeah, I guess maybe like you say, he wants it for lunch, but doesn't want it stone cold out the fridge.
Yeah.
He wants it room temperature, so yeah. I didn't even consider that bit. I'm just like, who does that? Then again, it's been a long time since I've taken any kind of pasta to work for lunch, had leftover pasta the next day. Because again, I'm fat and I eat everything that I cook.
Yeah.
I don't do leftovers.
Yeah. Don't do leftovers. Don't do
Whiteovers.
bags.
Nope.
Just sit there and eat it until it's all gone.
Precisely. The only way.
Yeah.
It's the only way you get to be a fine figure of a man like myself.
Indeed. What a figure.
Yep.
Like a big zero, but with no hole in the middle.
Yeah. I can't be mad at the truth, Ted.
Well, yeah, absolutely. Well, at least you can take that. I'm a size 0.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, God, I hate that shit. It's like when people go, "Oh, I don't need to get in shape. I'm already in shape. Round is a shape." Fuck off.
Yeah, we were talking about that the other day.
Yeah.
It's just making excuses.
Yeah, just get fucked.
Yeah. Oh dear.
Yeah. So there you go. That's So actually, obviously back to the original question. Is this person the arsehole for laughing at them for heating up pasta in the bed? No. I would do the same. I would just be like, actually, I probably wouldn't laugh, but I'd be like, what? Much like Ruby's response, I'd be like, what? Wait, what?
Yeah. Well, I think using phrases like heating it up, that's probably where it's gone.
That's where the confusion has come from.
Yeah. See, I would say, well, no, I'm just going to, put it somewhere warm so it can just take the edge off.
Yeah.
Before I eat it.
Yeah. I mean, she did say in there that he is eccentric with some weird habits.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's a nice way of saying, he's just a bit weird.
He's just the sort of man who would sit on a baby bell. Nothing wrong with that.
No. Thing is, but that's it. And I guess that's the other bit. You sit on a baby bell. Well, that's fine. It's not like you're sat directly on the cheese.
Yeah.
You can shove that in your ass crack if you really want, because you're not eating the wax.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, it's definitely unhygienic because then you're going to get poo particles on your fingers while you unwrap it.
Well,
and then,
yeah.
So, but and again, it's not like this guy is sprawling his chicken pasta on the bed. It's still in the tub.
Yeah.
That's okay too.
Yeah.
So concerned for the hygiene, I wouldn't be.
Yeah. I'm the same with the pork pie. That needs to be out of the fridge for a reasonable amount of time. Otherwise, it's too cold. Let's stick it in my pocket.
Yeah, great idea.
Yeah.
Great idea.
So stick your pork pie in your pocket, sit on a round of cheese.
I like a cold pork pie because I feel like the crust is better. Like the pastry is better when it's cold. Like
See, I like it warm.
Yeah, see, when it's warm, it's soft and I'm not really into it.
Once it's soft.
Yeah, I like the pastry when it's a bit harder.
Yeah,
a bit more. Yeah, bit more bite to it when you eat it.
Yeah. Were we talking about corned beef the other day?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure we were.
Corned beef, spam, that kind of thing.
The best corned beef is the corned beef when you just open the tin. Because it's room temperature.
Yeah.
But then obviously you put the rest of it in the fridge.
Yeah.
So again, that needs to come out, and but then you've got an open tin of corned beef, so it does have to sit on the side. You can't stick that up your crack.
Yeah. not recommended.
Not especially considering the sharp edges of the tin. Exactly. Yeah. Anyway, talking of storing food, let me just share this with you.
Okay.
This is in British Problems on Reddit.
Okay.
And we love a British problem.
We do love a British problem here in Britain.
Yeah. And we're a couple of them to start with.
Yeah.
Cling film that doesn't actually cling to anything. What is the sodding point? A very British way of putting it. What is the sodding point of that? It's just gently resting near the edges of this bowl of leftovers I want to save. Even when I try to squash it round, it does nothing. Might as well wrap it in crepe paper. Not quite sure why I'm so violently irate about it, but I am.
Now, I feel like we've spoken about this before. It was either me and you talking about it on the show, or me talking with my girlfriend about cling film, / saran wrap, as they call it in the United States. It sticks to itself amazingly well, to the point that you can't separate the motherfucker. But it doesn't cling to anything else.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like they've changed I was going to say recipe, but they've changed the formula for making cling film, and it just doesn't cling to anything anymore except itself. And maybe that's the point. You can't just put a little bit over the top of your bowl of leftovers. You have to wrap the whole thing.
Yeah.
Was that you and me that spoke about that?
No.
Okay, it must have been me and my girlfriend then.
Yeah, but that's absolutely correct. Some cling films are better than others. Some are pretty shocking. It's an absolute pain to get out in the first place.
Yep.
Because the little tab things never work to keep it in the box.
And the serrated edge never fucking works on cling film.
So the best thing to do is take it out of the box, throw the box away. We don't need that. Pull it out, lay it flat, get a knife, gently score it with the knife, and it'll pop away.
Yep.
Like a serrated piece of loo roll.
Yep.
And the only way to get it to stick is to have it, like you say, sticking to itself. So if you've got something small, I'm going to save that sausage. Well, okay, you're not going to save a sausage roll.
I ain't saving a sausage roll.
If you were to save a sausage roll ever, and you're like, oh, let's say it's a vegetable. So you got half a pepper, half a bell pepper, right? There we go. We're talking your language now.
Well, I'll say also not in existence in my fridge, but okay.
Then you can put that on your bit of cling film and then wrap it round, and it wraps around itself and it holds it in place. But yeah, if you try and just put some over the top of a bowl, nothing's going to happen. No. You'll have to wrap it all the way around that bowl.
Yeah, it's going to be a bad day. Onion. There is half an onion in existence in my fridge right now.
Yeah.
Because I use onions for spaghetti bolognese and that kind of thing. So
yeah,
but I don't use a full massive onion for just me.
Right.
Anyway, sorry, that's by the by. I'm just trying to be relatable at this point. There is half a thing, and yes, it is wrapped in cling film, but it is wrapped in cling film. Yeah. There's nothing in a bowl, and I think the last thing I tried to cling film that didn't go all the way around, again, it just didn't work because it doesn't stick to anything anymore. I'm sure it used to, right?
Yeah.
I'm not imagining that.
And I think you're right. They have changed the recipe. And I think the way that it has changed is possibly to do with the idea that there's problems with plastic leaching into people's food.
Yeah.
Especially with people using microwaves.
Yes.
If you go back a few years, they never did. So you wouldn't even imagine putting cling film into an oven.
No.
But you would put it over something when you're putting it in the microwave. So that's probably why.
Yeah.
It doesn't do the job it's supposed to do.
Correct. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Freaking cling film, man.
Yeah.
Gosh, cling film.
Yeah. So the whole the baking foil, the aluminium foil, that tends to be a good option for certain things.
Not the microwave, though.
Not the microwave. Definitely not.
Yeah, please don't put it in the microwave.
Do not do that. No, quite good for sandwiches.
I say I use foil a lot more than I do cling film. I don't actually remember the last time I used cling film before I wrapped half an onion the other day after making dinner. But
yeah,
it's such a rare occurrence. I don't remember the last time I bought cling film, because the roll of cling film that is in my kitchen right now. So I've lived in this house for over a year now. I bought that when I was still living at my old place, and I was there for a couple of years. I don't think I've actually bought cling film since moving into that house.
Yeah,
over 3 years ago.
Yeah,
that tells you how often I use cling film. So yeah, I buy foil like every 3 to 6 months.
I don't think people buy as much cling film as they used to.
Because it's shit and it doesn't work.
Well, that's one thing, but also there are lots of other. I'm sure I've said this to you before. There's lots of different ways of keeping things in like you get little bags with like little zip ties on, and all sorts of newer ones that just sort of stick together and nobody knows how. That sort of thing. Yeah, and you can get bags that you put in like the one that's sort of, it's like a laminator basically. Sort of thing where it
heat seals it. Yeah,
heats the up. Yeah, that's right.
Heat sealing. Yeah. No, you're right. You're right with that one. I've seen those before. Yeah, see, I use the Ziploc bags for keeping food fresh, which is weird, right? Because I've just gone and wrapped half an onion in cling film. Yet, the pack of ham, bacon that I haven't cooked, because I do try and resist cooking an entire pack of bacon at once these days. Yeah. Cheese all goes in a Ziploc bag. So why didn't I just use a Ziploc bag for the onion as well? Yeah. And those bags, I recycle them as well. So every month I buy 2 blocks of cheese from the supermarket, and I use a fresh Ziploc bag every month as well. But 2 blocks of cheese goes through that bag.
Yeah.
If it's more than that, you start getting little bits in the bottom, and it's no, I'm good. So I'm trying to do my bit and recycle them. I'm not just throwing it away as soon as it's finished. I'm recycling it. And the same with the bacon. Once I've finished a pack of bacon, because there's generally another one out of the freezer by that point, and I'll just put that straight in, and back in the fridge it goes. So yeah, we just recycle your Ziploc bags. It's much better than cling film, and hopefully your Ziploc bags are less likely to end up in the ocean than cling film is, or in landfill, because you're going to put it in the recycling bin rather than the landfill.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my cooking tips. But like I say, actually, what you should do is just go to Amazon or go to again the supermarket or a homewares store and buy containers that you can wash and reuse over and over again. So
yeah, but definitely not cling film, because what is the sodding point?
What is the sodding point?
Indeed,
as this guy said. But I can tell you what the point of cling film is, and that is so you don't get bugs and all sorts of stuff, unwanted creepy crawlies in your house hunting the food, or even mice or anything like that. But speaking of bugs and creepy crawlies, there's this thing that I saw on Reddit, which is someone who made a shrine for a dead cockroach in their work building. Born ? Died sometime this weekend. Rest in peace, roach, with a little bouquet of flowers.
Yeah,
so that's nice, isn't it?
It's nice. I mean, they didn't have the common decency to bury it.
No, they just left it there. It's just like, at least sweep it up.
Left it out there to rot.
Yeah, just get the old shoebox lid and just try and scrape it up. Like Peter Griffin does with the frog. The dead frog in Family Guy. But I was like, because obviously you don't want cockroaches in your house, so cover your food. Whether it's with terrible cling film or a storage container. Cover your food, and then tragedies like this won't happen.
Yeah.
So I wonder if it's.
What did it die of?
I don't know.
Well, the thing is, don't
death?
they say that cockroaches will be the thing that survives the nuclear winter or something?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Cockroaches and bacteria, maybe.
Right.
But I don't understand how a cockroach would survive nuclear winter.
I don't know.
Or nuclear blast.
They're quite tough.
Maybe, I don't know. I've never eaten one.
No. One day, though.
One day. I'll never eat a cockroach. Never, ever.
World Economic Forum will have anything to do about it. It'll, you'll be eating the bugs.
I'll leave that to Bear Grylls.
Yeah.
No, he can. It's that a funny name though, right? Bear Grylls. But when I heard the name Bear Grylls, I literally just pictured a bear grilling.
Yeah.
Like I said, I cannot be the only one in the world that thought that.
No, that's what I think. And also, it's quite a nice thought, isn't it? It's just a bear, behind the barbecue.
Yeah, just an over a barbecue.
Got a burger?
Yeah.
Yes, please, bear.
It's rabbit. Because bears eat rabbits, for those that didn't get that. But yeah, no, the cockroach. I'm pretty sure it probably just died of death. An acute case of death. Yeah. But yeah, they could have buried the damn thing, couldn't they?
Yeah.
I was going to say something else about it, but I don't remember now.
No,
it's not important.
Oh dear. Rest in peace.
Rip Roach.
Rip Roach.
So yeah, I feel like that's a sad story to end on. Dead Roach.
It's a bit of a sad one, isn't it?
Yeah. Okay. How's about this one then? Right. How's about
something happy?
Language.
Muffins. That's always happy.
I love mini muffins. I love muffins. I love cake. But the text for the English to Spanish translation on this box is amazing. So for those that can't read it because their screens are too small, this is a box of Little Debbie's mini muffins, and there's 2 QR codes on there. What the top one says: "Hey there, scan now for delicious mini muffin content." Sounds pretty straightforward. The one below says "Hola," so you think, Spanish. Okay, so if I'm a Spanish reader, I'm going to be all right here. "Hola, scan now for delicious mini muffin content en español." So if you wish for your mini muffin content to be in Spanish, scan the bottom QR code. Yeah. It's just one of it. It caught my eye, and I thought, that's amazing. I mean, that's the kind of thing I would do. Yeah. Because I don't speak Spanish.
Yeah. This is it, isn't it? It's like and the printers print it.
Yep.
Because they don't care.
Nope. They're getting their money. What do they care?
They'll print it all. Printers do never trust a printer.
Nope.
Because they'll say, "Is that how you want it?" They'll send a proof. And they must know. They must know. I saw another one similar to that. It was quite a good one. It was and it must have been in somewhere like Iraq or something. And it was a big like petrol Bowser, do they call them? Like the transporter.
The giant tankers, yeah.
Tanker, that was it. Tanks.
Thanks for the memories.
And it was one of those. It was a big gasoline tanker. And it said on the side, it said no smoking. And then underneath it said no smoking in Arabic.
Written in English, no smoking in Arabic, right? That's so good. That's that whoever did that was their last day, and they didn't give a fuck.
But the thing is, somebody's been given that instruction, and they said that's what needs to be on there, and it's gone on a form, and somebody's gone, that's what needs to go on there.
It's like I think it was a common meme before memes were memes. Years ago, the whole we contracted this company to translate our signs into Welsh, and they sent an email saying, please could you tell us the Welsh translation for this, and they got an out of office auto reply. So what's actually written in Welsh is, sorry, I'm currently out of the office until and that's what they. But it was written in Welsh, because it was a Welsh company, and
Yeah.
I mean, I do question the validity of that, because even the most new of people or inexperienced of people would see that the first thing that email says on the top in the subject line is automatic reply, or out of office auto reply, or something to indicate that they're not actually responding to your email.
Yeah, these things happen often enough to believe most cases. I mean, you see it all the time in papers and magazines, in anything in print. There'll be something where it just says placeholder subheading.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Yeah. What does that mean?
Or write some shit about something here.
Yeah. Like you say, it's clearly someone's last day, and they're just like, "Yeah, I'm just going to do the bare minimum."
Well, they just haven't proved it properly.
Well, that's it. Especially if it's a proofreader, they're just like, yeah, whatever.
The thing is, you can't just do a spell check or go through word by word and make sure that it's spelt correctly, or it's British English or anything like that. You can't just do that. You've got to sense check it as well. Like subheading here, there's no way that should have got through.
No,
I mean things do. I mean you're always going to get something that doesn't get picked up.
Always.
But and people will delight in telling you.
Yep.
But these things happen, but they're funny. You also get it with people who order things for like they order something to be said on a cake or with flowers or something like that, and they've literally written the whole thing, even if it adds an instruction or something like that.
Well, like you say, the whole no smoking in Arabic. I mean, that's brilliant. Yeah. But the thing I love about this one is it's exactly the kind of thing I would do. I know what Spanish for hello, and I know how to say in Spanish. But I would literally write something like that because I don't speak Spanish that well. I know a few words. That's it. Hola, scan now for delicious mini muffin content en español. It's just absolutely what I would write.
Yeah, or on a cake. Dear, happy birthday, Mabel, in red icing.
Yeah, in red.
Yeah, things like that. I think we should try and find some more examples of that for next week.
I think we should.
Yeah,
I think we should. But it feels like a good point to wrap.
Yeah,
wrap this
next week. Yeah.
Talking to next week?
Talking next week. We'll be back next week.
I don't see any reason why not.
That's where I was going with that.
Okay. Good to know.
Yes. If you've got anything to say about the this episode, why weren't you in the chat? That was your opportunity, damn you.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah.
You all missed it.
Otherwise, what's the sodding point?
Yeah.
Yeah. You should have been in the chat. You weren't. You're terrible. So get in the comments. Let us know why you weren't in the chat. No more than 100 characters. And give us a like. Give us a shout out. Send this to everybody you know. Particularly if they're enemies of you, I don't care. And you can always DM. You can DM me at Ted James Media. And you can email us at
cjandted@thetuesdayshow.co.uk.
That's it. And so, until next week.
We'll see you later. Thanks for hanging out.
Cheers.
Bye.